for the launch of the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework for Prosperity. Prime Minister Kishida, thank you for your leadership and partnership as we prepared for this announcement. We're launching today with countries from across the Indo-Pacific, Australia, Brunei, India, and by the way, Mr. Prime Minister, thank you for being here as well, Prime Minister of India, Republic of Korea, Malaysia, New Zealand, the Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam. We're here today for one simple purpose. The future of the 21st century economy is going to be largely written in Indo-Pacific, in our region. The Indo-Pacific covers half the population of the world and more than 60% of the global GDP. And the nations represented here today, and those who will join this framework in the future, are signing up to work toward an economic vision that will deliver for all peoples, all our people. The vision for an Indo-Pacific that is free and open and secure as well as resilient, where economic growth is sustainable and is inclusive. We're writing the new rules for the 21st century economy that are going to help all of our countries' economies grow faster and fair. We'll do that by taking on some of the most acute challenges that drag down growth and by maximizing the potential of our strongest growth engines. Let's start with new rules governing trade and digital goods and services, so companies don't have to hand over the proprietary technology to do business in a country. Let's create a first-of-its-kind supply chain commitments to eliminate bottlenecks in critical supply chains and develop early warning systems so we can identify problems before they occur. And let's pursue other first-of-its-kind commitments to clean energy and decarbonization. The climate crisis is an existential threat that is costing us trillions in economic damage, but there's also incredible potential and opportunity to solve problems and create good jobs by transitioning to a clean energy economy. Let's choke off the loopholes that get at the corruption that steals our public resources. It's estimated that corruption saps between 2 to 5% of global GDP. It exacerbates inequality. It hollows out a country's ability to deliver for its citizens. And tax and trade belongs in the same framework because if companies aren't paying their fair share, it's harder for governments to pay for trade adjustment assistance or to fund education or health services or a range of public investments that make it so hard for families that feel like they can't raise their children and give them a better life. That's ultimately my economic policy and foreign and domestic, what our foreign and domestic policy is about. And that's what this framework is about as well. So starting today with 13 economies, economies that represent diverse sets of perspectives as we work on pursuing our common goals. That's critical because a key to our success will be the framework's emphasis on high standards and inclusivity. This framework should drive a race to the top among the nations of the Indo-Pacific region. And I want to be clear that the framework will be open to others who wish to join in the future if they sign up and meet the goals and work to achieve those goals. I'm glad to have seen so many of you in person the past 2 weeks. At the U.S.-ASEAN Summit, I saw many of you in Washington, and during my travels to Asia, and I'm eager to hear from each of you today. I thank you for taking the time to be part of this framework launch, and let me close by saying the United States is deeply invested in the Indo-Pacific. We're committed for the long haul, ready to champion our vision for a positive future for the region, together with friends and partners, including the nations in this room and on the screen. It's a priority in our agenda, and we're going to keep working to make progress with all of you every day so that we can deliver real, concrete benefits for all our people. That's how I believe we'll win the competition of the 21st century together.